Okay, for the same reason that I'm not going to retype what I wrote before, which took me about 2 hours, I'm not going to probably do another video. So this video will just have to do, just like the last one I did, which is about 10 minutes. So this, I guess, is part 2 of the same story, what's happened in the last week. A lot, I guess, and I guess I'm leaving out a lot, but it sounds like I'm leaving in a lot as well. So I'll continue anyway. Went to the concert, Gloria Estefan, didn't sing any songs I knew, did duets with people I didn't know, and you know, could have probably not gone. Anyway, so had some tacos, had some beer. That's always a good way to end the day. Went back to the apartment and stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning typing, and that all disappeared. Anyway, so that's why I'm talking right now. And next day, got up, Sunday, was about to head off, leave Guadalajara and head further north, you know, in my attempt to get through Mexico, see the things that I wanted to see, and maybe get to the States for July 4th. It's not going to happen now. But anyway, that's not my independence, so who cares. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, I left Guadalajara. Before I did, I got up in the morning, cleaned the air filter, topped up the oil, glued my mirror, which had broken off when I had basically driven past a car. This is something I had mentioned, driven past a car, and one of the clips clipped onto the wing mirror, and that sort of pulled something off my bike, and I ended up trying to park my bike in the middle of traffic, and then it fell over into a truck and broke off my ring mirror. So I glued that back on. Crap, didn't actually stick. Glued my helmet a little bit, the thing was coming. Anyway, so I did that stuff in the morning and headed off, feeling pretty good, pretty prepared that, like, you know, got my new waterproofs, got the plastic bags, had all my clothes cleaned, everything was dry, ready to go. I was waterproof, and the bike was pretty sort of farting. The sprag clutch thing, which I was ignoring, whatever. So I drove out of town and was going to do a stop into Tequila, the town, to take a photo and drink some tequila. And as I drove out of town, I looked down at the revs, and nothing was happening. Of course, just a while ago, of course, not my rev, sorry, the miles, but just a while ago actually, the rev counter, that obviously the cable snapped on that, so I have no revs. Not important, never mentioned it before, it doesn't matter. But the miles thing, that really pissed me off. As I drove out of town, I noticed the miles weren't going up and the speed wasn't going up. So basically my speedo cable was now broken, which meant that as things are going now, I mean, the ratio of having fun to driving in the rain was way out of whack. There was a lot more driving in the rain than there was fun. But when I was driving in the rain, one of the things at least that I got a little pleasure out of was watching those mile things going up, you know, seeing the distance being ticked away, and just, I mean, as unimportant in the overall scheme of things as that was, just that thing had broke just really pissed me off to no end. So anyway, I drove on, got to Tequila, and said to myself, yeah, I'll pull in Tequila and fix that. So pulled in Tequila, and took off the sort of front, and kind of managed to get in without moving too many fairings, unscrewed the speedo cable, and like pulled it out, and it just completely came loose. So I was like, okay, I need to replace that. Went to pick the speedo cable out, and then realised I don't even have a fucking speedo cable. What am I looking for? So basically put the stuff back together and drove on, pretty annoyed about that. Stopped in, got some tequila tasters, and of course after having the tasters felt obliged to buy a bottle, which I did. Left Tequila, what happened then? Oh yeah. Left Tequila and drove out of there. It's a pretty nice town. The tequila plant, by the way, is like spiky like aloe vera, and they use the heart, the centre of it, to make tequila. Drove out of town, and as I was driving out of town, only 10 minutes later, noticed there was a huge storm on the horizon, like real dark black clouds. I was like, okay, might as well pull in, put on the waterproofs now, instead of waiting for it to rain, because it's clearly going to rain. So I pulled in at the side of the road, balanced my bike, made sure I wasn't going to fall over, and started to put on my brand new waterproofs, which happened to be tight as hell, right, which means they're eventually going to rip very soon. But they don't fit on over my boots. That means every time I got to change or put on my waterproofs, I'm going to take off my shoes, which is just another tiny little annoying thing, probably one of the many things. But got on the waterproof gear, and off I went. Drove into the rain and blah blah blah, rain and stuff and blah blah blah. Oh. And drove on. I've forgotten what's important here and what's not. I guess it all isn't. Drove on to Mazatlan. Blah 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 blah. It was actually nicer. It's where I am now. It's much nicer than I thought it was. So it was going to be a crappy town. It was literally a stopping off point before I headed on to the Copper Canyon, which I was going to hopefully get in before July 4th or whatever, and so forth. So anyway, got in here, ended up driving around town looking for a reasonably cheap place. Got a place, this place right here, for $15, which is the cheapest kind of place around town, and actually pretty not too bad, but again, whatever, over what I normally pay. That's all good. Got up next morning, which was this morning, and topped up the oil and packed up the bike and basically went to drive into town, quick internet, going to upload the blog and stuff like that and do a bit of stuff. And actually at this point I think I had decided today that I was going to start inquiring about a sprag clutch in Arizona, because I knew it was going to have to be done eventually. Pulled up outside the Lonely Planet's internet place that it recommended. I don't know why I ever read that book, but pulled up outside that, parked my bike. It was difficult, parked it up in the path, walked in and they were like, "Oh, where's your laptop?" I was like, "I don't have one." I was like, "Oh, we only have Wi-Fi." "Oh, great, perfect." So I went to go jump on the bike and drive off to the internet cafe. They told me, "If you're only a few blocks away, that's fine." Okay, cool. And then just the horrible sounds just kept coming out of my bike, which was the sprag clutch, just the broken sprag clutch, which is like a cage of bolts just grinding away inside the bike. Just sounds horrible. So decided to jump off the bike. I needed to have some food. Had some food, sat down, had some food, got back on the bike, and it did start up at that stage. Drove around to the internet cafe and pretty much spent like the entire day on the internet contacting BMW here in Mexico to see if they have a part. They obviously don't have the specific parts I have or I need in their dealerships, so they contacted their head office in Mexico. And after waiting pretty much the whole day, got a mail back from one guy saying that basically it's not here. The parts are only in Germany. It will take 15 to 20 days to get here. So that clearly is not good enough. So basically I think I have a fail-safe plan. Hopefully someone in Ireland England's going to get the parts sent out to me. It'll be a hell of a lot quicker than waiting 15 to 20 working days for them to send it from Germany to Mexico and blah blah blah. And to be honest, if I drive on with it the way it is right now, well, first off, it's just the way it is, it's just going to deteriorate too quickly, and not alone with the sprag clutch, but the casing that it's inside be deteriorated and wrecked, and instead of being $100 it'll probably end up being $500, and so on and so forth. So basically the plan has changed. I'm not going to be in the States for July 4th, who cares, whatever. I'm going to be here for a little bit longer, a little delays. I mean, I'm only on the week, I'm on the road a week after a delay of a month with a broken arm, and I'm already delayed again. I mean, it's just the time pressure to get to Alaska and the distance, the huge distance it is to Alaska. It just seems like I really needed to make more ground before I took another break, which this is a break. But I mean, what can I do? But you know, deal with what's put in front of me. Anyway, so over the last week, it's been sort of building the pressure and stress and whatnot to today, where I realised that, you know, I think it's smart and it's just better just to wait, get the parts and fix the bike up, take what time I need, and then continue on. So it's been stressful, it's been horrible, but now that I've realised that it's kind of out of my hands, it's let a lot of pressure off. So hopefully I'll get these parts in about a week. In the meantime, I think I'm going to do another trip, Sin motorbike, take a trip like 6 hours up north, just like, and then go to Copper Canyon on the railroad, which is meant to be beautiful. It's like a train that goes up through the mountains, see Copper Canyon, and then come back here. And by that stage, then hopefully the parts will be here. I'll be able to fix the bike and then just head straight up into the States. So that's pretty much it. That's an update. That's a huge, long, waffly long update. Just about all the stuff that's been going on with the bike. I mean, I guess I've left out things, of course, you know, like the fact that my bike doesn't idle anymore because the idle adjuster broke off, and you know, various things. I think I wrote them down here. Yeah, punch in the mouth. Yeah, whatever. Just stuff. Anyway, but that's an update, and sure, I've got some photos, I'll stick them up. But anyway, it's good to waffle to you.